Alright, welcome to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. May I talk slow on that one here, but not really. Watch this. Peter Bunting, right? Peter Bunting, the 5th National Security Minister of Jamaica. He was the National Security Minister of Jamaica from January of 2012 to February of 2016, right? He is now the host of a show called Probe. Alright, there's a video here that you're about to watch. This man said some serious stuff. Now, what I want people to remember is, this is our former security minister. National Security Minister of Jamaica is telling you these things and are telling you them to your face. Check out this video and listen intently and then hear what I have to say at the end of it. Here's the video.
55 years after our independence from Britain, many Jamaicans are concerned that we are once again undergoing a new form of colonialism, a form of economic colonialism by Chinese businesses operating in Jamaica. Nowhere is this more evident than in the construction sector, where Czech and the 14 or so other companies, Chinese companies that now operate in that sector, have controlled at least 50% of the sector, and this is by the estimates of industry professionals.
Unfortunately, almost up to half of the labor now employed on construction is Chinese, which is the same reason why the small entrepreneurial Jamaican, who invariably is an engineer or similarly qualified to work in the industry, are mostly unemployed.
They do this through unfair competition. And why do they say unfair competition? Basically, for 4 reasons. First, most of these companies are either 100% or majority controlled by the Chinese government, giving them virtually unlimited resources.
Yes, we were invited by the UDC to be informed about the MOU that the Prime Minister had announced, the MOU that would have enabled a Chinese entity to design all of downtown, including the government buildings, at no cost to Jamaica. We asked for the MOU, were advised that it would take us 30 days. After about maybe 45 or 60 days, we still hadn't gotten it. However, the architects eventually got a meeting with the Prime Minister himself, and within 2 days of that meeting, we got the MOU. And of course, the MOU says that the Chinese will be paid $1 million US. So we have moved from free to $1 million.
Secondly, they come into Jamaica typically on the basis of concessionary financing for a government project. And they get all sorts of duty concessions on imported machinery and equipment, and they get to buy local building inputs free of GCT. They then use these concessions and this machinery and equipment to compete for private sector projects. So they have an advantage over local contractors.
Our country is poor and broke. So we went to the Chinese to assist us at the national macro level for development. They, of course, have their own agenda. They have articulated a policy which will give them major geopolitical influence throughout the world, and particularly the developing world. And so we went to them to get that sort of assistance, and they gladly have given funding which had enabled us initially to go on to some infrastructure development projects. And in so doing, we made concessions of our own. So they loaned us money, which they say is very cheap money. In turn, we gave concessions to them, which included duty, GCT-free importation of goods and materials, and also goods, materials, and equipment, and also a concession that they could employ 50% of the labor required on any project on which they're involved. I have said to the authorities, whereas I've seen 50 Chinese, I have not seen 50 Jamaican, and this is in every case that I've looked at. And so this is clearly is going to result in underdevelopment.
The third allegation, which is not limited to Jamaica but quite widespread in Africa and in Southeast Asia, is that these Chinese companies use convict labor. And there are many anecdotal stories that suggest that that is the case on many of the projects.
It has been alleged, not here alone, but in Africa and Southeast Asia, that they are prisoners. A number of them are. I wouldn't believe that everybody is, but they think a large amount of them are prisoners who come and work off some of their sentence in the various countries and here in Jamaica also. So what has made it, that has made it particularly attractive, I understand, to the private sector. As you can observe now, almost all the private sector projects being undertaken in City Kingston, and some of them outside, are being undertaken by Chinese companies.
Finally, there's no effective regulation of these Chinese companies. Their records are kept in Mandarin. The tax administration and audit department has no effective way of telling what is used on one project versus another, where workers are moving between companies, etc. The Chinese government as a policy is not very transparent about all these operations. Many international media have attempted to penetrate what is taking place, penetrate the veil of what takes place in many of these companies with absolutely no cooperation from the Chinese government. We have written to the Chinese embassy in Jamaica asking them to respond to these allegations of unfair competition and to shed some light on Chinese business practices, specifically as they're operating in Jamaica. If we get that response, we will definitely do a follow-up probe. But in any event, we want to look beyond just the construction sector. We want to see what is behind Chinese retail establishments taking over most of the towns and villages in rural Jamaica. And again, is it fair competition?
God, I remember Andrew Holness did a some prior thing, get up speech thing where his wife was standing next to him and him saying calling the nation to prayer. And in that instant, it sounded to me like the Prime Minister of Jamaica was admitting to guilt. And I don't know, I found it strange because I felt like he was put out there by all the politicians, like on behalf of us all, on behalf of the JLP, on behalf of the PNP, on behalf of every ruling government agency in the country, go on out there, go apologize to the people them and throw like a Jesus upon it. And you know, Jamaica people, stay ready. Pray about it and forget about it, right? While the masses continue to suffer and we continue to do the dirty things that we do or have done because we have sold out the country outright. That is exactly what Peter Bunting just told us in that video. Admitted to. Did y'all catch that? So for those of us, and you notice how he started the video of talking about it is becoming a rising concern for Jamaicans about being colonized by these people, Chinese government. Did you hear him talk about these contracts and that are kept in, not the contracts, yes, their books. Any business deals they're doing with the Chinese are all written in Mandarin, right? And their books are kept in China. And the Jamaican government making deals with these people and have no idea. It's like they can't touch what they're doing. So basically, they've been given all rights to do whatever the hell they wanted. The part that bugged me out the most was when he said something about the deal that allowed them to bring in material, machinery, and labor, or laborers. That means they need absolutely nothing from Jamaica. He also went on to say that they have cornered the market in Jamaica, the construction market, and they are backed, and these are Chinese companies that are backed by the government of their side of the world, country, if you want to call it. So they have unlimited resources, pretty much. In other words, their money longer than train. So they're in Jamaica to do whatever the hell they want to do. In a sense, I feel like this was Mr. Bunting saying to us, Jamaicans, that yes, you are being colonized by the Chinese. And it's a result of some very bad deals that we made. But you notice he's saying that now that he is no longer in that position. But while he was in that position is when these deals were made. So isn't that crazy as shit?
It's like he's warning the people, but warning them when it's too late.
Say it again, babe.
It's like he's warning the people, but actually warning them when it's too late.
It's like he's warning the people, but actually warning us when it's too late. It's sad as hell. And again, take this seriously. This is the National Security Minister of Jamaica, former. I mean, I talk about former as in he just came out of that position, because he was that from 2012 to 2016. We're only in 2018. 2018 just started.
You know, them can't talk about.
So just year and 2 months him out of the position.
Yeah.
Wow. Leave your comment in the comment section below, man. And if you miss anything, go back and listen again carefully. Use pen and paper and write down all the things this man just told us. Right? If you're in any doubt that colonization by the Chinese is on the table and in full swing in Jamaica, then I don't know what to tell you. I know people are going to say, Jamaica belongs to the British, and the British aren't going to let the Chinese colonize it. Well, fuck, they sure as hell can't lend them it though, for a fee, and allow them to conduct business there. And you know how the Chinese feel about the black man. I've seen a video, a documentary where he said, the black man he's neither here nor there. It is the white race that we are in competition with to rule the world. We're talking about global leadership, global ruling, right? And in time we will surpass him in every way. That is exactly what the man said. And my audience is very well read, and I'm sure I can't find the video, but somebody is going to find it and pull it up, or leave the link so the rest of you can see it. This documentary that I'm talking about, right? Leave your comment in the comment section, man. I'm out of here. Peace.